The Come to Pass auto rifle is by no means new. Having landed with the arrival of the Witch Queen DLC, this bad boy has been flying so far under the radar for about a year now. And I unlocked the crafting pattern almost immediately back then, but I never got around to giving it too much love. Because, well, it's an auto rifle. But I've heard a handful of people giving this thing high praise lately, so I decided to level mine up in PvP and fully enhance my preferred perks on it, and I can say definitively that on a scale of fruit by the foot to fruit gushers, the Come to Pass ranks in at a solid
too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey, ooh yeah.
And I'm excited to have a little powwow about this hidden gem today. But first, thanks so much Gunzilla Games for sponsoring this video. So, Gunzilla Games is developing this brand new Battle Royale 2.0 called Off the Grid. They've got an all-star cast of talent both in gaming and in cinematic endeavors, including the author of the Altered Carbon series, people who worked on the Chernobyl show. So knowing that, it was no surprise to me to learn that Off the Grid takes place in a dystopian future where these mega corporations are using fixers to hide their seedy, corrupt dealings. So the folks at the studio who worked in the cinematic world dreamed up this series of videos to help introduce us, the gamers, into this new world and give us some context and backstory before we dive into it. So let's take a look. That's a pretty cool looking environment, kind of like this island vibe going on. So this must be Vincent here. Some big wig. Look at that dope office. I want one like that. Pretty dope futuristic vibe going on here. He's got a fake arm. He's got two fake arms. This must be one of the fixers, I'm assuming, huh? Real seedy character.
You disgust me, you know that?
Cesspool have you guys found yourselves in this time?
Yeah, totally a fixer. He's here to solve a problem.
Losing live patients again?
Ooh. So they got their hands real dirty, huh?
Just sit tight, Vinny. I got you.
So our seedy little cyborg is off on his own little mission, huh? This is like the AI overlord here?
You hearing me?
Always listening to you, Vincent Roberts.
You can tell it's a bad guy because it's red. Pretty decent effects on this, huh? Man, that does have some serious Altered Carbon vibes there, doesn't it? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm certainly interested in learning more about this game, and if you are too, hey, click the links in the description and pinned comment to watch the full video yourself, see what you think about it, have your own reactions, and find out more about Off the Grid. Alright, let's get back to some Destiny. Alrighty, the Come to Pass is a high-impact arc energy auto rifle from Savathun's Throne World. And I know what you're thinking. Why on earth would I want to use an auto rifle in today's sandbox, or any sandbox for that matter? I can only recall a couple of very brief seasons in Destiny history where auto rifles were considered a genuine threat at the top of the meta. And I'm going to be honest with you here, equipping auto rifles in Destiny right now, it's not a cakewalk. With SBMM making it so everyone in the lobby is playing like their life savings is on the line, most people are running around with high-end stuff only these days. But ironically, the nature of this awful map rotation actually plays to the favor of auto rifles in a lot of ways. You're going to see a lot of gameplay in this video where I catch people in big open lanes far from cover. And with a little foresight and positioning, you can bait people into exposing themselves and then punish them for it again and again. I played almost 30 matches with the Come to Pass today in skill-based lobbies and ended up having a pretty positive experience overall with a 75% win rate and a 2.36 KDA for the day. So this wasn't like some fluke thing where I had a couple of good games and cherry-picked what worked for the video. I was actually planning on making a video about the Redback sidearm today, but changed plans after the Come to Pass came out of nowhere and surprised me. So the Come to Pass fires at 360 rounds per minute, has an innate vertical recoil direction of 83, an optimal TTK of 0.83 seconds, and a range stat that buries most auto rifles. With the best crafted roll on it, you're going to be able to bring that TTK down to 0.69 seconds though, and that's pretty freaking nice. More on that in a second. These high-impact auto rifles tend to have excellent range, but at the cost of stability. Those of you who picked up Lodbrok this season, you know that very well. Lodbrok has even better range with that increased zoom that it has. So for some of the gameplay, I'm playing with a roll kitted for stability, And for some of it, I'm running a mix of both stability and range. I'll tell you what role I landed on for now and had the most success with. My preferred role is a stability masterwork with small bore for both range and stability buffs, accurized rounds for a solid plus 10 range, enhanced perpetual motion for that plus 20 stability, 20 handling, and 20 reload. I'm a sucker for perpetual motion. And lastly, mine has enhanced golden tricorn. And that's because after each kill, I have 8 whole seconds where I'm going to be doing 41 to the head instead of 36. And that's because after each kill, I have 8 whole seconds where I'm going to be doing 41 to the head instead of 36. That means I need one less bullet to put an enemy down, dropping my TTK down to 0.69. And that's where the fun really kicks in with this gun. Once you get it up and running, and you know I'm a sucker for snowball builds and rolls, always have been, but then you can really start to run the tables. I had a 21.0 KD match on Bannerfall where I just kept that perk rolling and rolling. 8 seconds is plenty of time to heal after a kill and then go into a new engagement with extra damage and full health. And that's really how I learned to play it. And it was crushing it. So besides those perks, Perpetual Motion and Golden Tricorn, this auto rifle has absolute trash PvP perks. This is literally the only combination I can recommend. In the first column, you've got Compulsive Reloader, which I used for a while in this gameplay. It's okay at best. Then you've got Genesis, which is about as useful in a gunfight as your mom. Triple Tap, which only exists for big target DPS and PvE, really. Shoot to Loot, which is only slightly less useful in a fight than a Magikarp. Stats for All, and Perpetual Motion. So you can see why I went with Perpetual Motion. It's like having a lineup of T-ball players barely out of diapers, and then there's Ken Griffey Jr. It's not a tough choice. The second column is similar, honestly. Wellspring is okay, but it's not really the play for a gun like this. Dragonfly can be useful, and there are some Dragonfly kills in this gameplay. Adaptive Munitions, which is a PvE perk. Turnabout, which is laughably bad. One for All, and Golden Tricorn. Again, this is an instance where the game makes the choice for you. I'd like to know who was responsible for selecting the perks in the pool for this weapon, and then I'd like to replace their tap water with pickle juice. It just doesn't make sense. Hey, here's our new gun. We want you to hate it. So yeah, that's the bad news. There's really only one role worth using on this AR. But the good news is that when you craft it that way, it's going to be really freaking fun. And that's how autos have been for me for a while. They aren't meta smashers by any means, but they sure are fun to use. It's not as easy mode as other more popular weapons out there, but dang if it isn't rewarding to drop 30 plus kills in a game with this thing against people spamming Ikelos and Teraba and whatnot. I had several people scoreboard dodge after teabagging early in the match, and I get those comments a lot where people are like, TV, it's so cringy how you emote on people sometimes in your gameplay. And I gotta say, I almost never initiate stuff like that. If you see me emoting on someone, it's almost certainly because they teabagged me or dropped an emote on me, and I see that stuff as harmless fun, honestly. Context is important, though. I think a person farming people worse than them and bagging every kill is lame and childish, but I get bagged 7 days a week and twice on Sunday just for existing, and it's been like that for the better part of a decade. If I let stuff like that bother me, then I would have been in therapy years ago. Anyway, that's it for the video. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay with the Come to Pass, and thanks for allowing me to do sponsored content, because that's the stuff that really allows me to continue to do content creation full time. It's fun, but it doesn't pay the bills really. Sponsorships allow me to continue to exercise my creativity and make content for you all, while also being able to go to sleep at night knowing my kiddos and Steph are well taken care of. I appreciate you all. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.